You having fun at school?
Yeah.
You like doing school at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huggy more often.
All right. Back to work. All right, we're back. I think. I think we're back. Yeah, is everything working out? All right, we had some technical issues. We're back. As you see, pretty girl's taking a break from school. Although, are you done? Are you done? Yes or no?
Wait.
No.
Huggy.
Huggy, all right.
Huggy.
Schoolwork. All right, today we're going to talk about diet. As someone who's had the worst possible diet on earth, I had allowed myself to get overweight. About 2 years ago, my blood pressure went through the roof. And when I say through the roof, dangerous high levels. I had one reading that was like 180 over 150. So it was bad. At the same time, my current wife and I had decided we were going to get married. But she has a genetic form of type 1 diabetes that develops late in life. Most type 1 diabetes develops as children. What she has is something that develops late in life and happens slowly over time. Anyway, my wife had been doing everything that the doctors told her to do diet-wise, and her numbers were awful. I mean, just bad. Her A1C was at 11.4. So I started to do research, and I'm a little bit obsessive. I've got an anxiety issue, so I get obsessive about details, information, data. I've got education and engineering, so I'm always looking at problems through an engineering perspective. Can it be fixed? Find the problem, isolate the problem, find the best solution to that problem. This is not the first time I've had to lose weight. In my late 20s, I had put on a bunch of weight. I was up in the 230 range. I have tremors. Now, the medication I take now keeps my tremors kind of under control, so it's not too bad now. But one of the doctors I had at the time said to me, oh, it's probably hypoglycemia, just eat more often. Well, when I was 225, 230 pounds, eat more often was not a good solution to my problem. And I decided it was time to do research. That's what I do. So I bought a couple books, took a deep dive into it, and found a hypoglycemic diet. And that diet was basically what we would call a ketogenic diet today. At that time, no one had talked about ketogenics the way we talk about it today. This time, I started doing research, and ketogenic is what came up. Everyone talked about it. I found Dr. Jason Fung, got a couple of his books. There's a lot of resources on YouTube. So all I did is I started to eliminate carbs. Eliminate sugar, eliminate carbs. No bread, no pasta, nothing with carbs. I read everything I could read on the labels. Anything with carbs, we didn't eat. I'm also a podcast guy, so I do a lot of podcast listening. And Joe Rogan talks about intermittent fasting. And Dr. Jason Fung talks about fasting in general. We started to eat in an 8-hour window. 16 hours no food, 8 hours food. So between noon and 8 p.m. we would eat. And then from 8 p.m. until noon the next day, we didn't eat anything. This really made the difference. It took 4 months for me to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to show some pictures in here somewhere. The diet I did 20 plus years ago was a high protein diet, where the current ketogenic diet is high fat. You want about 70% of your calories to come from fat, and 70% to come from fat, 25% to come from protein, and 5% or less to come from carbs. It's been 1.5 years since I lost the weight, and I'm sure, admittedly, there's still a little bit there. I'm going to drop another 10 pounds between now and February, but that's a different situation. After about 2 months, we started to add a 1-day fast every week as a diabetes control measure. What we would do is every Sunday, we would eat our standard Sunday dinner. And then we would not eat Monday. And we would eat our lunch, eat noontime Tuesdays. That would give us about a 40-hour fast. When we started to do this diet, we removed her from insulin. She was taking some insulin, but not much. So we stopped taking her insulin. We made the changes in her diet. And I made the changes in my diet. We did this together. And her A1C went from an 11.4 to a 7.5 in 3 months. Since we moved here, we've been with an endocrinologist who's done a lot more testing that we couldn't get done in Jamaica. And she's determined that my wife was misdiagnosed. She's not a type 2 diabetic. She's got she's what they call a type 1.5. She does need insulin. And since we've added a small dose of insulin every day, her A1C, her last A1C was a 6.2. So she went from an 11.4 to a 6.2. And her weight has basically been the same because she never really had a lot of weight to. She didn't have much extra weight on her, so it wasn't a problem. Her situation wasn't weight. If you're trying to control diabetes, you want to do this. And I'm not still listening to me. Go look up Dr. Fung. Go look up Dr. Ken Berry. Go look up Dr. Sarah Hallberg. One of the best resources we have. So find these people. Look them up. My mother saw what was happening with us. And my mother's had weight issues for a long time. She saw the results we were getting. And it took about 2 months of me trying to explain this to her for her to think, maybe I should try this. And she's lost 70 pounds. My stepfather, he's lost 70 pounds or more. They're doing amazing. And it is a ketogenic diet. No carbs. Primarily, I eat meat. I'm almost completely carnivore now. I have hamburgers, eggs, steak, sausages. The only carbs I eat come from the onions and mushrooms I saute to eat with my steak, and the onions and peppers I saute to eat with my sausage. Other than that, I don't eat any carbs at all. And I feel, well, I'm better now than I have been in 15 years, probably. When people hear that I lost all this weight, they often ask me, how much did I exercise? And the reality is, almost none. I didn't really. Right now I exercise. Right now I train jiu-jitsu, and I train jiu-jitsu 5 days a week, normally. About 5 days a week I train. I do a couple 2-a-days, but I train normally 5 days a week. I didn't start training that 5 days a week until way after I'd lost the weight. It was May 2019 when I finally hit my goal weight. We moved back to the States from Jamaica May 2019. It was September 2019 when my doctors gave me the okay to start training jiu-jitsu. For those of you that don't know, I've got multiple herniated discs in my neck and in my lumbar spine, and I also have a thoracic compression fracture. So my spine is not good. But the doctors thought training would be a good way for me to get the exercise I needed. So I didn't actually start exercising until after I had lost the weight. October 2019, I started training jiu-jitsu. So it was a good 5 months after I lost all the weight that I started to train. Now, I've been training for a year now, and I have no trouble training. I don't have energy issues, and I maintain this diet. One of the other things that I do to maintain health is that I fast. Every 3 months I do a 3-day fast. And once a year I do a 7-day fast. I just finished a 7-day fast a few weeks ago. 3 weeks ago I did a 7-day fast. People think I'm crazy, but 7-day fast, when you're like this and you're fat adaptive and you're burning fat for energy and not sugar, fasting is easy. And I do a lot of fasting and you feel amazing. When I was on that 7-day fast, I continued to train my jiu-jitsu normal schedule. Nothing changed. And I didn't see a downfall in my energy level. I didn't have a drop in energy. I didn't have a drop in my training ability. So I continued to train. It's absolutely possible to continue this lifestyle and feel great. So that's how I lost the weight. I have gone from being a overweight, out of shape, I've gone from being in really bad shape to being in pretty decent shape. I still have, obviously all my spinal issues are still there, and there are a lot of other medical issues, but as far as my weight and my blood pressure has been perfect for quite some time now. So we're going to get more into this. We're going to do a few more details on this in the future. We're going to talk about what I eat in a day. I think next week I'm going to do a what I eat in a day. Show you guys, I don't starve. I did not starve myself doing this. I ate until I was full and I went on with my day. We're also going to show you how to cook. Learning how to cook without sugar is a new challenge, but it's possible to make fantastic food without carbs. We're going to show you that too. So until next time, we'll be back next week, guys. God bless.